There we go. Alright, so today we're going to look at dilations. Okay.
One time you submit
I haven't submitted yet. Grab that for me, please. Thank you. All right. What's today? The 24th? Okay. So, a dilation is a type of transformation that changes the size of a figure by a scale factor. Alright, so a scale factor, we call it K. And scale factor, all you have to do is multiply. So if it says a scale factor of 2, you just multiply everything by 2. 100 fun. Alright, so if I multiply a length by 2, what's going to happen? You multiply anything by 2, if you double something, what happens? It gets bigger, right? So if you multiply by 3, what happens? It gets bigger, it triples, right? Now, what happens if I multiply something by half? What will happen to it? Don't kill me dead today.
If I take half your money, what happens?
Right, it gets smaller, right? Ask, please, Alice. Alright, so if we multiply by a number that's greater than 1, okay, so okay, the object grows, or we'd call that an enlargement. Alright, and if it's between 1 and 0, or we say less than 1, that is a reduction. What happens if I multiply something by 0? What would happen? It would disappear, right? Okay. Alright, so a triangle is dilated by a scale factor of, alright, let's look. So how do I get, if I'm multiplying, remember multiplying, okay? These are my pre-image points. And these are my image. Okay, so then what points are first? My pre-image or my image? Your pre-image, okay? So how do I get from, let's just look at 3. How do I get from 3 to 6? Remember, we're multiplying. Times 2, right? All right, let's see if that works for all of our other numbers. Negative 5 times 2, do I get negative 10? Yeah. All right. 4 times 2, do I get 8? Yeah. Okay, so that's our scale factor. So scale factor of 2. By scale of 2. So that means when we have a scale factor of 2, then we're going to multiply the x and the y value by 2. Okay? So if I look at B, 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, so I'm multiplying both x and y by 2. All right, and if you look, here's our blue shape. That's our pre-image. And what happened to our triangle? It got bigger, right? Because we multiplied each length by 2. All right? So that would be x, y goes to, now we multiplied both the x and the y by 2. So what would that look like as a rule? If I say 2 times x, how would you write that?
2 times x.
Mm-hmm. 2x, yeah, that's what I was looking for. All right, and then what would the y be? We're also multiplying it by 2. 2y, perfect. Okay, so 2x, so xy goes to 2x, 2y. Okay? All right, so now let's think about that again. All right, so how do I get from 4 to 2? Divide by 2? Is that what we said? So remember, we're not adding or subtracting. That's our translation, okay? So we have to multiply, or the opposite of multiplication is divide, right? Now, so we have to multiply, so you have to think in terms of fractions. So if we divide by 2, what fraction would that be? What fraction would that be? Dividing by 2. If you divide something by 2, what are you doing to that length? You're cutting it in half, right? So think of dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by a half. All right? So we're going to write that down here. Dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by 1/2.
Remember we got that up.
Oh, sorry. All right, so what if I was dividing by 4? What would that be the same as if I tried to multiply? Dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by a half. So dividing by 4 would be the same as multiplying by what? Dividing by 2, same as multiplying by 1/2. Dividing by 4 be the same as multiplying by what? 1/4. I thought you said just 1. Sorry. All right, multiplying by 4. Okay? What if I divide by 3? That'd be the same as what? Multiplying by what? 1/3. Okay? What about one more? Dividing by 5. Perfect. 1/5. Okay? So when we do scale factors, it's always multiplying. So if you think, oh, I just divided all those numbers by 10, okay, then you have to say, okay, but really I'm multiplying by 1/10. Okay? So you kind of have to switch your brain to the fraction. Okay, so 1/2. All right, so let's see if that works. If I do half of -5, I get -2.5. What happens if I do half of -2? Just -1, right? If you just do 2 divided by 2, that's 1, right? All right, so dilate by a scale factor of 1/2. Multiply both the x and the y value by 1/2. All right, so xy goes to 1/2 x, 1/2 y. Now, let's look at our shape. Our pre-image was the blue shape, right? There's no primes on it, so I can tell that that's the first shape. When I cut everything in half, what happened to my triangle? It got smaller, right? Okay, so when we multiply by a number that's less than 1, it gets smaller, right? If we changed 1/2 to a decimal, that's the same thing as 0.5, right? 0.5 is less than 1. All right, let's flippity flop it. All right, dilate the triangle ABC by a scale factor of 3. So what am I doing with that scale factor? Multiplying, right? So that just means multiply by 3. Multiply all your x's by 3 and all your y's by 3. All right, so remember, when I change the shape, it now becomes a prime, right? So 7 times 3, what does that get me? 21. 8 times 3, 24. Okay? B prime, so now I do each value. So -3 times 3, -9. And 4 times 3, 12. C prime, -4 times 3 is -12. -5 times 3 is -15. So you're just multiplying all your numbers by your scale factor. Okay? If I were to graph this shape and I multiplied by 3, what would happen to my triangle? Would it get larger or would it get smaller? What? From my pre-image, I multiplied it by 3. What is my image? Is it bigger or smaller? It's bigger, right? And even if we look, our numbers are bigger. Okay? They're further apart. Okay? All right, so scale factor of 1/4. So that means I'm going to multiply 1/4 to all of these. But we just said earlier, multiplying by 1/4 is the same as dividing by 4, right? So when you write the scale factor down, make sure you say 1/4. But when you're working it out, you can just say, okay, I'm just going to divide them all by 4. Okay? So what's going to happen to my shape if I multiply by 4 or divide by 4? What's going to happen? It's going to get smaller, right? So I want y'all to write grows here because the scale factor of 3, and this one is going to shrink. All right, so x prime. All right, so I've got -4 divided by 4. What is that going to get me? Careful. -1. All right, 8 divided by 4. 2. Perfect. Okay, so now my y prime. Negative 2 divided by 4. That's a little hard. That's going to be negative 1/2. And then 4 divided by 4. 1. And then z prime. Negative 8 divided by 4 gets us negative 2. And then negative 3 divided by 4, we're just going to write it like that. Negative 3 divided by 4. If you look, all of our numbers are smaller, right? So it shrunk, or it was a reduction. Okay, so I want you to try, let's see. So down here, okay, I'm going to put some points on the board, and we're going to multiply by a scale factor of 5, okay? So, R is going to be 3, 2. A is going to be negative 2, 5. And P is going to be, let's see, what do we want? Give me a number. 3, 7. Love it. All right. So, we're going to do a scale factor of 5. Scale factor of 5. Alright? So do that at the bottom, and you're going to write, I want you to write these two things. R prime, A prime.
They're pretty much just making their own.
Yeah. Scale factor of 5. Check with someone around you to see if y'all got the same answer. Y'all check each other's answers. When y'all are done, check each other's answers. about scale factor? It's pretty good? Okay. Okay. So let's, so now what I want you to do is number 1, okay? If you get number 1, number 4 is going to be, or number 2 is going to be kind of difficult because 3 and 5 aren't divisible by 4, but you just make them a fraction. So I want you to do number 1, just like we did number star, like we just made up, okay? And then if you want a challenge, try number 2, okay? All right, check what's on around you, see if you got the same thing for number 2. All right. So let's look. Let's tell me what they got for A prime for number 1. 6, negative 9. Okay. B prime. Negative 12, 15. Awesome. C prime. Negative 15, 0. All right, how did we do, guys? All right, cool. All right, the next one, scale factor of 4. So this one was a little tricky. All right, so I've got, I'm doing the same triangle up here. So remember, multiplying by 4 is the same as dividing by 4, right? Okay. But when we write the scale factor, we actually need the fraction form, okay? All right, so 2 divided by 4, that's 1/2. Negative 3 divided by 4, that's just negative 3 over 4. That's A prime. Sorry. Can you go ahead and submit?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Oh, I haven't put any absent people in.
You don't put any what?
Absent.
Okay, I got you.
Negative 4 divided by 4 is negative 1. 5 divided by 4, we can just put 5/4. And then C prime, negative 5 divided by 4, negative 5/4. And then 0 divided by 4. What do we get? 0. I didn't write down any points. It was 15, 10, negative 10, 25, 15, 35. Okay. So let's look at the example 3 up here. So when we use the scale factor, we multiply, right? So how do you think we'll try to find the scale factor? We have to go backwards. So how can we find the scale factor? When we use it, we multiply. So awesome, to go backwards, we have to divide, right? So to find the scale factor, we divide. Okay? To find scale factor, divide. Okay? You're going to put the new over the old. If we use our appropriate vocabulary, our new shape is called the image. And what's the old shape? What's the original shape called? Pre-image. Perfect. Thank you. Okay? So, what we're going to do is, remember we multiplied the x and the y, right? So it doesn't matter if you choose the x or the y. All right? And your scale factor will never be negative. Okay? So let's just pick, do you want to choose x, y, or z? You want to choose y. All right. Now, so y is negative 2, 6. What's going to be its corresponding point out of these 3 points? Y. Nope. What's that? What? Y prime. Remember Amazon Prime. Okay. So, y goes to y prime. Okay. So, this is my new, right? This is my image and this is my pre-image. So, I can choose the x value or the y value. Okay. Do we want to choose the x value or the y value? Okay? You can choose either one. So remember, the new one has to go on top. So is y or y prime the new one? Y prime. So we chose the y variable. So 12 is the new one. 6 is the old one. All right? Now what's 12 divided by 6? Right. So what scale factor was a triangle XYZ dilated by? 2. Okay? Alright, so don't go to this graph yet. I want you to go to the back. Let's try to find another scale factor. So let's have points. A is 4, 4. B is 8, 16. And C is, let's see, 20, 0. All right, your A prime is 1, 1. B prime is 2, 4, and C prime is 5, 0. All right, so remember, to do the scale factor, you have to put the new over the old. So that means you're going to put the prime over the not prime, okay? Alright, so first step, pick a point. Alright, what point do we want to pick? B, okay. So we picked B. No real reason. Just Hunter likes B, I guess. Was that you that said that? Yeah. Okay. Now, find its corresponding point. All right. So what point is going to correspond with B? B prime. Okay? Now, what do we do after that? Right. So now we have to choose the x or y coordinate, right? So do we want to choose the x coordinate or the y coordinate? I heard the x first. Sorry. All right. So we chose the x coordinates. So 8 and 2. All right. And then we put the new over the old. Right. So is 8 or 2 my new x? 2, right? Because that's with the b prime. So 2 is my new x. 2 over 8. Perfect. Okay? Now, can we simplify that? Yes. 2 divided by 2 is? 2 divided by 2 is 1, right? And then 8 divided by 2 is 4. There we go. So now my scale factor is 1/4. Do you think you can do one of these on your own? Let's try it. You have the steps, okay? So I'm just going to do just 1 point, okay? So you don't have to look at all 3. So I'm going to have A is, let's do 3, 9, and A prime is 1, 3. Okay? So you don't have to, so pick a point and find the corresponding point. That's already done for you because I've given you just 1 point to look at. Okay? So I want you to find the scale factor, so you are doing 3 and 4.
It doesn't matter if you pick the x or y.
It does not matter if you pick the x or y. Does not matter if you pick the x or y.
I have it in our shared document.
Okay. Maria put, on her paper, she put new over old. I love that. Trying to help her keep organized. Have people looking at their previous page. That's great. So you have to pick the x or the y. Awesome. Alright, see if you and your neighbor have the same scale factor. I've already done this for you. There's only one, right? And it's just one thing. Alright, so now choose the x or the y. Right? So do you want to look at the 2 x's or the 2 y's? You want to look at the 2 x's? Alright. So you have to put the new x and the old x. So which one's the new? I don't have the sheet. You put the prime on there when I was. I put the prime here, not here. Yeah. It's just A. It's just A.
Yeah, I'm just going to use
A and then prime. Okay, so which point is new? A prime, right? So you put the new x and the old x. So new x and the old x.
it's the original Baron Halls.
All right, what do we get for our scale factor?
1/3.
1/3. So, this is my new, which is also called your image. And this is called your old, which is your pre-image. Not your re-image, your pre-image. Okay? So your new is your image, and that I can tell which one that is because of the prime, right? So, did anybody choose the y value? Okay, so if you chose the y value, you had to simplify. All right, so let's say you chose the y. The new y is 3, and the old y is 9. That simplifies. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay? Now, if you chose the x, you would have the new x over the old x. Do you have to simplify that one at all? No. So it didn't matter which one you chose. Just if you chose the y value, you would have to simplify. Okay? All right, how do we feel about finding the scale factor? We feel okay? Do we like it better when it's like a whole number instead of a fraction?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so what I want you to do is graph these points. So L is -7, 9. U is 4, 6. C is 2, -2. And K is -4, -2. So go ahead and graph those points.
I like how it was like black and
What?
white. Like how the little boxes were white.
Oh, yeah, copiers. So, I don't know why I thought of Lucky Charms. But that's
Okay.
Does anybody eat Lucky Charms? You do? I was always a Captain Crunch girl.
I like the oat strawberries.
Captain Crunch and cinnamon. The French toast. The one that looked like little pieces of bread. That's the best one. Not the cinnamon toast crunch. It's like the French toast crunch. Never heard of that? Gorel.
The worst was Cookie Crisp.
Oh, that was good.
Disgusting. I did not think of it.
The worst was Fruity Pebbles. Are you kidding me?
I don't like Fruity Pebbles, but they're not the worst.
Fruit Loops. Yes, those are 100% one of the best cereals. I don't eat cereal anymore,
I
but
don't really eat that much cereal anymore.
No, I was like a frequent person at the cereal bar downtown.
oh, I remember that.
It was my jam. I hate the shit clothes.
And then
She had this blueberry muffin top cereal. It was so good.
I like Rice Krispies.
Yeah. Frosted Flakes.
Oh, Frosted Flakes with strawberries, so good.
Bananas.
Yeah.
Oh, bananas.
I used to take Apple Jacks. We didn't buy it, but I would take Apple Jacks and then I would put peanut butter in beneath them and eat them. It'd be like
That's never done.
like apples and peanut butter.
Just see like Oreos with peanut butter.
All right, did we get this down? After our cereal talk? I don't even remember last time I had cereal.
Cheerios.
Sometimes,
Cheerios,
sometimes basic Cheerios is what you need.
right? But I like the blueberry ones are really good, and the mixed fruit berry ones. I'm a cereal girl.
Okay, I did used to like Raisin Bran.
Me too.
I wouldn't eat raisins any other way unless they were in Raisin Bran. Isn't that crazy? All right, here we go. Did we get that shape down?
Yeah.
So crazy, cereal talk. Okay, so let's dilate our shape. What number do we want? Do you want to do, we can't do it too large. So I guess we're going to have to stick with 2. So let's do our first shape, a scale factor of 2. So what does that mean I'm going to do with that 2? Multiply everything by 2. So L prime will be negative 14, 18. U prime, what will U prime be? 8, 12. What will C prime be? 4, negative 4. Perfect. K prime? Negative 4. All right, so what's going to happen to our shape? Is it going to get bigger or smaller? It's going to get bigger. It's called an enlargement, right? So I'm going to do L prime is negative 14, 18. It's kind of hard to, is this 18? Yes. Kind of have to use your fingers for that one. Okay. Yeah. And then U is 8, 12. 8, 12. C prime is 4, negative 4. And then K prime is negative 8, negative 4. All right, and go ahead and connect it. All right, was our prediction correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it got bigger. Look at y'all. Look at y'all go. Getting it. Predicting the shapes over there. All right, so our center of dilation is our origin. Okay, so I want you to look. I want you to think about that for a second. So our center of dilation was our origin, okay? So look at the difference between like L and L prime, and then look at like C and C prime. Okay, so C and C prime didn't move that much, right? But L and L prime did. Why do you think that is? So our center of dilation is the origin. So look at C and L compared to the origin. One more time. Well, it's closer to our center of dilation, right? So if it's closer to our center of dilation, it's not going to go very far. But look how far away L is compared to C, right? The center of dilation is much further. So then when we dilate it, it's even going to be further away. Okay? All right, so now let's do another shape. Or let's do another one. Let's do a scale factor of 1/2. Okay, so what's going to happen to my shape? It's going to get smaller. So we're going to do the original points, okay? So we're just going to call this L double prime, U double prime, C double prime, K double prime. Okay? So when I do -7 divided by 2, I get -3.5. 9 divided by 2, I get 4.5. All right. I think you can do the rest of them now. So try to find U prime, C prime, and K prime. Double prime, sorry. Just remember, this time we're going to divide by 2.
How can it be a point cloud? You just hit in the middle of the one?
Uh-huh. Exactly. Alright, what do we get for u prime? 2 and 3, right? Because 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. What about c prime? 1 and negative 1. What about k prime? Perfect. Nice job, guys. Alright, let's go ahead and graph that. So the L prime, negative 3.5, 4.5. So I'll go negative 3, and then go halfway, because it's 3.5, right? And then I go up 4, and then halfway in between 4 and 5. So there's my L prime, or double prime. Okay. U prime, 2, 3. I keep saying that, double prime, sorry. C prime, C double prime, and K double prime. All right. Did our shape get smaller like we predicted? Yay.
Do we get to make a break for
Well, we'll technically have a break when we do the fire drill. I'll give you 5 minutes today. So, and then you'll have the fire drill, which will be another 5 minutes, okay? So it's 9:26, be back at 9:31.
Matt got an interview for his master's program.
Oh, cool.
He just let me bring it on.
You guys done for everything? No, everything's done. I just put the same part in there, but.
Nice. That's great.
That's exciting for him.
Yeah.
He writes me, he's like, help me!
So I almost wanted to like curl up in a ball and die yesterday. I can't tell you this. No, I really can't. Not with them in the room.
Oh, okay.
Woo.
I thought you were saying me. Like,
No.
yeah, let's not curl up in a ball and die. Just,
I mean, I'm fine now.
okay.
It was.
It was a bad moment.
Oh, real bad. Oh, I gotta use the restroom.
Go for it. I'm hanging out.
different light. That looks really good. That looks really good.
It does.
It's pretty. Gotta put the date on it. Watch out. Okay.
You want, hand me that handy folder and I'll put it in here.
Well,
If you're ready.
Hey, Brandon, will you also just write down a list of things we do today?
Yeah.
So that I can hit it to Matt after the Friday.
Yeah.
Or send it from Aspen to the printer. You don't have to do that.
I don't like that.
Okay. Do you know how to stop this?
Maybe.
You see that up there?
Pause.
Pause.